Howdy, this is Matt from Jaggers Brew & Co. I'd like to thank you for stopping in and checking us out. This is Raw Ale 2.0. This brew day started off like most of the other ones I've done around here lately. Before everybody else wakes up, I can normally get some coffee going, collect my thoughts, and get to brewing. This brew day starts off a little differently than most of them for me. I started with a hop tea, just like I did for the first raw ale video. We started off with 2 quarts of water. Once it started boiling, we just threw in the 60-minute addition like we normally would when normal brewing with wort. Instead, we're just doing it with water to get all that hop goodness into the water. With the lessons learned from the first video, we took into account the extra water that wasn't absorbed during the grain, and so we made that water adjustment to make sure that we wouldn't end up with extra beer like we did last time. We used just straight RO water for this brew like we did previously. Made sure that we didn't use any kind of water salts or made any kind of water adjustments. We just wanted to run straight RO water for this beer. Once we had the strike water in the kettle at the level that it needed to be, we lit the burner to start to bring it up to temp. Once our strike water hits temperature, it's time to mash in, and we're pretty much almost already done with this brew day then at that point. The only thing that we need to remember is the rest of our hot tea additions at this point. Due to it being a raw ale and me brewing in the bag, on both beers I added the hop tea during the last 5 minutes of the mash to one, help to start bringing up the temperature of that beer, and two, just to help make sure that I incorporate that hop tea pretty well. After mash is complete, pull out the grains and let it drain. Living on this homestead brewery, whatever you want to call it, with the chickens that we have with us, it's given us an opportunity to help supplement some of their feed and some of their food with the spent grains and the spent hops. They really seem to enjoy it, and I feel like they've kind of grown accustomed to this way of life. During mash-in, if they're free ranging, they'll come hang out with me while I'm brewing under the canopy near the kettle and stuff. We had just recently gotten some new chicks to add to the flock. This was their first brew day with us. They know now that they get a cut of all the spent grains and the hops, so they like to join the battle cry while I mash in. So with the chickens getting their cut of the spent grains and everything, it's time to move on to the next step. After we pulled out the grains and let all that wort drain back into the kettle, I just pasteurized at 165. Now I know there's a lot of different temperatures to pasteurize at. I felt safest at 165 for 15 minutes. When you look into pasteurization temperatures, times, and things like that, it's all over the board. I felt like 165 was a good spot. I had read previously that DMS forms right around 170. When I was going back and looking at some stuff after this brew day, it looks like sometimes it can form a little bit lower. I didn't detect any in this beer or the previous one, so I still feel pretty good about 165. It'd be interesting to maybe try some different experiments with that though. After pasteurization was complete, we no-chilled this beer, as is the normal way that we do things around here at the Homestead Brewery while we practice the art of fermentation. Fermentation was handled by Voss Kveik. Once the wort came down to 95 degrees, I went ahead and transferred it to the fermenter. I pitched my yeast at the same time. This Kveik hot ferment was done a lot like I normally do pretty much all the Kveiks. If you go back and you look at the Hothead Kveik video, handled the same way in the same setup with the jacket and all that. So this brew was brewed especially for a local competition event. It was basically a people's choice kind of thing. It wasn't anything for medals or BJCP or anything like that. I knew about this competition for just enough time to hammer out something as far as a brew day went, but I couldn't drag my feet for too long on it. After fermentation was complete, we transferred it to a keg, and we got that keg ready, and that beer basically went out to that competition after being only 3 weeks old after brew day. We were also fortunate enough to be able to debut our new logo during that competition, so that was pretty cool. While we were at the event, we were joined by a bunch of friends and some very good acquaintances of ours. They lended a hand for some special taste testing notes.
Matt from Checkers Brewing Co. I'm here with Val from Val & Sons, and I'm here with my good friend Keith and my other buddy Terzel from Dock of the Bay. We're going to do some tasting notes here on this beer. So this is Rye Ale 2.0. What do you guys get from the smell?
Nose, right on the nose, a lot of lemon.
Lemon. Got some citrus myself.
So a lot of people say they was getting some apple notes from it. Some nice crisp apple notes, like a green apple.
I definitely have the, I got the Kveik strain.
Yeah, the Voss Kveik is what I use.
So I was thinking either Homebrew or Kveik, definitely.
So you get that orange citrusy notes.
It's a beautiful beer.
Yes.
It's very clean. For anybody who's not familiar with the Rye Ale style, this is a traditional Norwegian style which is in my world, has no boil. So this is a boil he brought to a certain temperature.
I pasteurized it at 165 for 15 minutes.
That's it. It's beautiful. You did a great job on this. What was your grain bill?
So my grain bill will be on the channel here in the description. I have it right here on this picture. But my percentages, the fermentation temperature, my mash temperature, I fermented it at 95. I underpitched it.
Yeah, that's good.
To help.
And I think that was smart.
Yes.
A lot of people will overpitch it, and it's going to attenuate too much. There's still a lot of residual sugar.
Right, and we got all those proteins in there from it being raw ale and not being rolled.
The protein, polyphenol.
Yes.
So this is a great job.
No DMS because I didn't get to that temperature.
No, nothing. Not at all.
Would you say this is more what beer would have tasted like back in the day? I mean,
yeah, back in the day, on that side of the world, Norway, Estonia, I'm really big into the Rye Ale style. It's making a beer that's clean, finding the right pitch of yeast, the right balanced water chemistry.
Water chemistry played a big effect in this. Believe it or not, I did no water chemistry for this. This is straight RO water.
And that's okay.
Because the historical way on the farmstead, on the homestead, things that I'm about, sustainability and everything, use what you got. I just use raw ale or RO water, so there was no additions, no salt additions. It is what it is.
It's a really good beer. I could drink this all day long. This is one of those beers that 6%.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
6% when it's 20 below zero, and a beer that you can finish in 2-3 days. Yeah. It's a great beer.
Yeah. And you're not going to get tore up enough to do not responsible things. But it's enough. If you have enough of it.
No, but you did a great job.
Thanks, guys. Cheers so much. I appreciate it so much.
So this competition was pretty fun, but best of all, we won. It was pretty crazy. No water chemistry, no boil, no chill, underpitched, fermented warm, won the day. Blammo, we won. We didn't boil, we didn't chill, we underpitched the yeast, we fermented warm, and the people spoke. We win. We won. Get over it. And we won.